Clarion Books and Harper Audio present Tales from Cabin 23, The Visitors, by Yamile Said Mendez. Performed by Stacy Gonzalez. For Valentino. At Camp Apple Hill Farm, there is a story. For a few campers, a mysterious fog will appear, summoning them to a witch's cabin, where they must endure a terrifying tale, or else. Why the cabin appears is not truly known, although many theories abound. The cabin does not exist on any map, and while many campers have gone looking for this mysterious cabin, few have found it. But those who have tell of a terror that defies explanation. Are you brave enough to visit Cabin 23? Prologue. Tommy ran. He ran down the path that wound through the woods, jumping over exposed roots and kicking loose rocks. He ran from the cabins at Camp Apple Hill Farm, away from the people shouting his name, away from Brent and his stupid comments, and most of all, away from the rage he'd felt only moments earlier. Tommy ran until he began to feel a stitch in his side. Only then did he slow down to a jog, and eventually a walk. His chest heaved, and his dark hair was plastered to his tan forehead. It was a hot summer evening, and as he continued along the path through the trees, catching his breath, mosquitoes began to bite his bare arms and legs. He slapped them away with more force than necessary. He hadn't yet run out his anger. Stupid, stupid, stupid! Why had he let Brent get to him? Tommy had been excited to go to Camp Apple Hill Farm. 2 weeks at a real sleepaway summer camp was something he'd always dreamt of. And when his mom revealed that his stepdad had agreed to pay for him to go, he'd been so excited. He'd packed carefully, checking everything against the provided list, and when he'd arrived to find that he'd been assigned to Cabin 7, his lucky number, he was convinced it was just one more sign that it was going to be the best summer ever. But that was before he'd met Brent. Brent was assigned to Cabin 7 as well, but where Tommy was excited to be at camp, Brent was not. The pale blonde boy was certain to make sure everyone knew that he was only there because his parents had shipped him there against his will. Otherwise, as he said to everyone who would listen, he would have been on some much cooler vacation with one of his parents. But this year, his mom was on her honeymoon after getting remarried, and his dad was working overseas. So here he was. Tommy and the others in their cabin asked what Brent's dad did for work, and quickly found that Brent's story was ever-changing. He told Davy, Tommy's bunkmate, that his dad was in the army, off in some country fighting for freedom. But then he told Alan, a boy in Cabin 3, that his dad was in Alaska, researching salmon migrations. The more Brent talked about his dad, the more incredible his stories became, so that by the end of the second day of camp, everyone thought he was just a big liar. Tommy thought that as well. He tried not to let Brent's constant complaining and outlandish stories ruin his excitement for camp. But it was hard, because every time they had a group activity or sat down to eat, there was Brent complaining about the heat, or telling another story about his awesome dad and his amazing job, or getting into a shouting match with someone who'd gotten fed up with him. After a few days, it felt like there wasn't a single part of camp that Brent didn't spoil just a little bit. By the end of the first week, Tommy was pretty sure that Brent was the worst thing about Camp Apple Hill Farm. Still, if it had been left at that, maybe it wouldn't have entirely ruined Tommy's summer. But then came the incident with Tommy's letter from home.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?